I am the Commissar, that's my name. Forged alliance forever, that's the game. Who have we got with a claim to fame? Today we have 8 players on a custom map, randomly generated, and we have the North team in the north, we have the South team in the south. Let's go and meet them. Rearguard air position for the North team. This is GingerbreadMan. He is 1800 rated, he's Cybran, and he's in Burgundy. Lake position for the North team, we have loxpooig, who is 1600 rated, he's Eon, and he is in dark blue. Middle position for the Northern team, we have MSG, also 1600 rated, in Cybran, and he is in light green. And last but not least, for the Northern team, all the way down here, and queuing up an awful lot of factories, this is StormLantern, 1800 rated, and playing Cybran, he's in light blue. Southern team. In the air position we have Matry, 1900 rated, and playing Eon, he's in grass green. Over here by the lake we have Zoom, who is 1500 rated, and playing Seraphim in mauve. In the middle, walking forward there, we have Stuxnet, 1600 rated, Cybran in grey. And last but not least, this is naSimka, 1800 rated, in Cybran and in red. And let's have a look at the map, and speaking of the map, let's actually see the mini-map too. Decent amount of reclaim scattered around the middle, also a little bit around here. Nothing huge though, nothing that you'd really expect comms to scuttle for. Mechs is just scattered everywhere around the map. Very early lab here from naSimka, already finding its way toward the base of Lox, but Lox shoots it with a tank. No other early raiding that I can see. Looks like there are a couple of other start points here and here, and I imagine those are going to go to the air player. Nope, Stuxnet thinks that these, or some of them, should go to him, and I guess the air player does have a decent number back here. Floaty tanks from Lox, sealing down this area with such a trio of mechs quite quickly, while Lox's comm walks round the front. Another lab out from naSimka, which is probably looking for early expanding engineers, but has to watch out for these tanks. Meanwhile, with no floaty to his name, Zoom has just walked his comm straight across the lake to pick up this expansion, while he sends his engineers further up this way. Trios of mechs have lured both MSG and Stuxnet out in these directions towards the middle plateau, so they'll be heading different ways around that plateau. And we have a transport here from Matry. He's looking to just drop a bunch of these mechs and reclaim spots. He's got one off here, but he's been locked onto by an interceptor from Lox. However, he doesn't look too worried about it, and he continues to drop dudes off as necessary. Lox coming quite far forward with his comm compared to Zoom, who stayed back down by the lake. Matry also has a bomber out here, and the interceptors of Lox are more interested in the bomber than they are in the transport, which looks like it's going to get all its cargo off. This guy's going to be safe because it's up on the plateau, but these tanks are going to eat up that engineer, and will probably eat up some of these too, but not before they've got most of the reclaim, which is what Matry is presumably the most interested in. double comm pressure here from MSG and Lox, threatening naSimka, but none of them are being super aggressive. Defensive turret goes down from naSimka to prevent too much pressure. MSG coming forward to grab this tasty little bit of reclaim. Storm, however, has come pretty far forward on his own too. He's got a couple of tanks dotted around, but it feels like Zum has a lot more, and he's got production capacity here, and he's getting T2. Storm starts the gun upgrade right here. I consider this pretty courageous, to be honest, doing that so far forward when... Does he know about those? Well, now he does. And he's got his own raiding units and engineers picking up reclaim around this area. Stuxnet sends a contingent of tanks to help out with Zum's forces here. Stuxnet's tanks are going to die to those of Storm, but... oh, Mantis, well, Mantis, not tanks, I guess, technically. But as they do so, that leaves an opportunity for Zum to get past with some significant loads. And now, Storm is actually looking quite under threat here. Meanwhile though, naSimka gets a decent run by into MSG's expansion past MSG's comm, which is of course slower than all of these tanks, and it might claim some decent economic damage, which they're going to need, because as you can see, we are 30 or 40 mass ahead for the northern team compared with the southern team at present. Storm's comm remains unmolested despite the significant number of forces from the southern team in the area. Meanwhile, comms in the north, both Lox and naSimka getting those gun upgrades. And Lox has sent a not insignificant contingent around here to push naSimka, but naSimka's got a decent heap of production here, which should be able to defend. Now this run-by has split up, and so this is getting good work done, picking off mexes here, there, and everywhere. MSG's just rebuilt that one, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably 6 mexes going down. There's 7 mexes going down, 8 mexes going down to that run-by from naSimka. Very good work, in my opinion. Meanwhile, now he's got that gun, Storm is pushing in and he's absolutely eating these tanks from Stux and Zum here. First gun complete. Oh, we have Stuxnet helping naSimka to finish the gun, so it's finished before Lox gets his advanced range upgrade, which still has 30 seconds to go. Lox has more tanks, but naSimka has Stux's comm to help him out, and MSG has gone all the way back here to finish dealing with that. naSimka and Stux are pushing forward to see what they can do about Lox. Lox seems like he's going to bring these guys back. Nope, he's actually just repositioning them here. He's happy that he's got enough spam here to deal with this, and he does complete the range upgrade, so he'll be able to fall back and kite these Mantis and these comms with his longer ranged comms, and his Aurora outranging the Mantis. MSG getting some stealth there. Down in the south, Storm has pushed a bit further forward, and for the moment Stux and Zum are retreating, though Zum's comm has moved forward and is using his T2 engineering suite to set up a creep of Uthaus Hala point defences which are going to do more than enough to defend this area. Against the gun-com of StormLantern, there may be a problem if Storm is able to micro well, but there's a lot of forces here that Storm still has to worry about, and so I think Zoom will be safe there for now. naSimka preparing a transport here. Let's see what he does with it. MSG sending out a bomber. Where's he heading? Can't see that yet. But speaking of bombers, that's a strat I see out from GingerbreadMan. Now we do have T3 air up for Matry, but he hasn't, as far as I can see, finished any ASFs yet. So that strat could get some decent work done. Storm engages Zoom. We'll have to keep an eye on both the strat and this fight. The strat's been pinged. Sorry about that. Strat drops a bomb. It's going to get at least 2 T2 mexes. Zoom is under a bit of pressure, but he's got some tanks coming in to help, and Stux sends in this contingent, which forces Storm back. Storm is actually quite badly damaged. Yeah, 2 T2 mexes, but the first ASFs have come out and have taken out that strat. Zoom is backing up. There's a lot of tanks around here, but this point defense and the Ilshivos he's bringing in should be enough to save him. Can't be said the same for Storm though. Storm is into the red, and there he goes. Our first ejection at just under 12 minutes. Is StormLantern blown up by a wave of Stuxnet's tanks. Gingerbread is going to inherit his stuff, I believe, as the highest rated player remaining. There he goes. In some cases you might expect him to give this off to MSG, but since it's reasonably connected up, if he thinks he can handle both air and land at the same time, then he is equally likely to keep it, and it looks like he's choosing to keep it. MSG has stealth getting the gun upgrade. Over here we have tanks massing up for Lox, but that's still mainly T1. We have some T2 turrets here from naSimka, and we also have a couple of T2 tanks in there, so Lox with his Eon double gun can maybe afford to be bold, but he has to be a bit careful. Now MSG has actually managed to get a decent little raid in here, and he looks like he's taken out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mexes, about to take out a 6th. The eco is still in favour now of the northern team by about 50 mass per tick. So nothing significant, and that's going to go up when he takes out this T2 Mex. He might get another, but we have rhinos coming out, and these Mantis, 4 vet Mantis, how often do you see that? 4, in fact these are all at least 2 vets. They are going to die to these rhinos. Zoom looks like he's massing a raid on the right here. Let's see if that gets in anywhere. And it looks like Lox has entirely skipped T2 and gone straight to T3. He's got Harbies coming up there, so this push from naSimka may be a little bit bold. Lox stops to get the shield. Of course the Harbies will be able to assist him with that if he wants, and he looks like he's got a decent eco to afford it, so I think he won't cancel it despite the pressure from naSimka. He might even drop his boys back behind his comm and let his comm tank some of the fire. MSG also feeling combative. He's upgrading his stealth into nano. So the push that we mentioned from the little raid story that we mentioned from Zoom has headed in, but it's found there's quite a lot of T1 tanks and a couple of rhinos as well in its way. And while Ilchis are nice and tough, 5 Ilchis will probably die to that much in the way of T1 backed up with those for T2. That long range on Lox's comm also paying off, being able to drive back naSimka before he is able to get too much engaged. And while this force is over here, that looks like it's left an opening for Lox, who seems to be advancing forward a bit. Although that force has stopped, and this solo engineer, which is on a patrol route back there, is coming to eat up the walls. Maybe it'll even get to convert that, who can say. Loyalists from MSG have come round this side, while Stux has his comm over here, and Stux doesn't really have much to defend. He's probably going to lose quite a lot to this Loyalist raid, and MSG is trickling more in at a steady pace. That's 3 T2 mexes he's looking set to destroy, as well as 3 T2 support factories, so that's already a good kill. And I don't doubt that these Loyalists are going to get more. There are counter-Loyalists out from Stux, but more Loyalists beat less Loyalists, or fewer Loyalists, if I were going to be technically correct, which as we all know is the best kind of correct. Those Urshis try pushing in again. Maybe they've seen that this is mainly T1, and they are getting a little further this time, but we do have T3 production here from Gingerbread, and so as soon as those T3 units like that, Loyalists, come out, I don't think those Urshis are going to get any further, though they do seem to have claimed 1 mex. Another kill from those Loyalists of a mex, and it looks like there's another T2 mex set to go down, though Stux now has bricks to defend as well. These Loyalists are just looking to see how much damage they can get done. Up here though, naSimka has numbers, but Lox has tech. Oop. He's also got shield supporting his comm. It feels like this is only going to go Lox's way with his double gun shield comm versus a gun comm, with shields to support him, with halves to support him. But these numbers from naSimka, and there's a lot of T2 in there where there's only a few T3 in there. So we'll come back to that in just a moment. Meanwhile, how are those Urshis doing? Now there's actually quite a significant chunk of them. And GingerbreadMan is having a little more trouble than you might have expected, but these Loyalists are finally getting the work done, though they have lost another mex. There, speaking of Loyalists, MSG is now being counted by strats from Matri, which are doing the job, but he's got 3 more mexes since we last looked. And he's left some Loyalists guarding here, but Stux since is coming to fight these Loyalists. This comm is bare though, that's a bit dangerous. Over here, Lox, deep into the yellow, his shield hasn't regenerated, so he's still got a couple of Harbies, but there's all this spam from naSimka, and boom! Lox goes up in smoke. The strats that were coming for him from Matri are redirected, and they go straight for the comm of MSG. They all hit him, and he's suddenly down to half health. There are ASFs from GingerbreadMan, but they haven't responded. These strats turn around and come for another pass at MSG. You can see them there, dropping their bombs. And boom, MSG also goes up, and suddenly we have 1v4, GingerbreadMan versus the world. Gingerbread not happy with that. I don't think he could have saved Lox, but he could have saved MSG if he'd been on the ball about those strats. I say him versus the world, but let's have a quick moment at the eco. Thanks to those epic raids from MSG's Loyalists, we now have an eco lead of, what's that, 180 for Gingerbread. The strats have split up and are now taking out some of Gingerbread's mexes, so we might expect to see that eco lead decrease in a little bit. But what's that? 2 mexes taken out by the strats, 3 mexes taken out by the strats, and there's still one pootling around. Might get another kill. No more mexes, but a decent amount of... Oh yes, one more mex, take that back. So those strats also got a decent amount of eco damage done, but not enough to negate that huge lead that GingerbreadMan has. So, this is going to come down to the APM. Has Gingerbread got the APM with only one player to make use of that eco against the 4 players he's arrayed against in the south? Quite a large gunship contingent from Matry, looking to see if it can get something done. Though Matry is splitting it up, he's sending some out on a raid and some back to defend. However, Gingerbread has 1 air after that strat engagement. If we take a look at the air numbers, we have 61 ASFs for Gingerbread, and only 9 for Matry. Has anybody else got T3 air in the south? I don't think so. Stux has T2 air, but nobody else has T3. So, Gingerbread also should have complete air control. He hasn't really noticed these gunships, which are doing a little bit of work, but that's a lot of loyalists, and there's a couple of anti-air tanks in there, and there's also a SAM, so that should clear them up without Gingerbread having to worry too much. And he's more worried about these gunships raiding his mexes. They've taken out 1 more after that one that the strat had already killed, but that's all they're going to get, because the ASF's taken down. There's another strat coming in. Matry is loving his strat race today, and there's yet another one going up round there. This one, gonna get that radars on the hill. That radars? Those radars, that radar. But sensibly, so he doesn't have to worry about APM, Gingerbread is dotting SAMs around the place. And there's our first experimenter. We have a monkey. He's immediately following it with a megalith. Now, these loyalists are already pushing. They're not waiting for the monkey. So I think that Gingerbread is going to wait until he's got both monkey and mega up and running, so that the monkey's stealth field covers the mega. Or maybe he's just thinking that with these loyalists and a few bricks in there as well. In fact, let's have a look at what we've got here. We have got 18 loyalists and 5 bricks, plus a splattering of other stuff. That's 16,000 mass in there, with a total of 5,500 DPS, give or take. So, Lox reminds Gingerbread that the monkey is still there, and we'll see whether Gingerbread chooses to move it. Had he forgotten about it? No, I think he is waiting for that. That mega. This doesn't feel like great positioning. Some of them are in range of the turret, some of them are not. There we go, they start moving. Good pressure from naSimka in the north. He's taking out quite a lot here, and there's a couple of tanks. There's a Sprite Striker and a Loyalist. That Sprite Striker shouldn't be moving in there to stop them. There's also bricks here to clear these up, but the damage has been done. And for the first time, the southern team has overtaken Gingerbread. Now they are 200 eco ahead. How the tables have turned on poor Gingerbread, having lost all of these mexes to the push from naSimka. Gingerbread is simply having trouble keeping up with the raids and the attacks on both sides. While he's also having to deal with this, there are Othiums coming in. The monkey has moved forward and hasn't waited for the megalith. He decided he finally needed it to defend. And it's just driven away the Othiums though. It hasn't chosen to push against this turreted emplacement of Zooms. Both Zoom and Stux hiding in the water here, having a little bath. It's quite a deep bath. naSimka wasting no time sending in boys to reclaim the mass that he... But I just did a guile and completely missed that. There was a strat snipe from Gingerbread and he hits naSimka, bringing the odds down to 3-1. Odds player count down to 3-1. But the response from Matry might mean that Matry is going to lose air again, and indeed he does. So Gingerbread striking back. Matry inherits all this stuff. naSimka, not happy about this, thinks that they've now lost. Tool can play at that strat snipe game, says Matry, and starts massing strats down here. Meanwhile, that monkey has met up with the group of loyalists and bricks, and the mega is also finally complete. This has been pung, so they know that needs dealing with, but there's now a decent T3 force coming up here. It was a bit spread out. It might need to mass up a bit to take out this, because there's a decent number of bricks in there that Matry has inherited from naSimka. And Gingerbread gets yet another monkey lord done. No shortage to the amount of experimentals that Gingerbread is sending down south. These guys look like they're trying to come in for a raid, but there's already a decent number of bricks as well as turrets to stop them. And there aren't enough bricks in there, too many loyalists for them to really stop this, though there was a nice example of the loyalist stun explosion there. MSG suggests shielding his comm. Yeah, I agree. There's that. So there's a decent number of strats being massed by Matry in the south. This lot, however, while these troops from Matry have been distracted by this raid, have managed to get through and push in here, but there isn't really much to actually kill. T1, 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 nothing really to deal with. And here's where the interest is. Stuxnet has brought in a monkey of his own, and the two engage in combat. Gingerbread's monkey dies, but there's still a decent number of tanks and bots from Gingerbread left, and they focus down the monkey. Well, they did focus down the monkey, but it's got 3,000 hit points left. Strats come in to finish the job and seal the deal, and the monkey of Stuxnet is taken out. But Stuxnet now has a chunk of bricks here. There's one mega against them and a monkey, so that should be enough. So that monkey is heading off to deal with these Ophions. We have a chicken from Zoom, but a chicken versus a crab, the crab's gonna win. Not even thinking about that monkey here when we got another monkey. So all-out experimental war in the south here, and we've got a monkey in the north too. An attempted run-by from Matry does get to this area, but that hadn't been rebuilt yet, and Gingerbread is confident he's got enough bricks to clear up the run-by and send the monkey forward in this direction. Another chicken completed. No, that's not a chicken completed from Zoom. That's a gift of a monkey from Stuxnet to Zoom. And Gingerbread is just not stopping on this production line of monkeys, both here and here. Looks, I think there's not enough to stop this force, not by a long shot. 2 monkeys and a mega. That's going to clear this up without much trouble at all. That's quite a big army now you think about it, when you see how much it has to face, which is just a few bricks now. That push, I think, by Matry may have been a mistake, because it didn't really get anything done, and it just died to counter pressure. Meanwhile, how are those monkeys doing clearing up what's over here? Now that we know that they know about the Mega and these forces, I like the fact that some of the forces have gone off here, but I don't think this much needed to go in this direction. 1 monkey would probably have done that. Okay, maybe 2 now, the chickens here. I think the Mega needs a bit more support. That look like sniper fire. Is there a sniper bot in there? Nope, it's just the chicken. And the chicken engages the monkeys and will probably get 1. It does get 1. Backed up by those turrets, it might get another one. I just saw some strats fly past. We'll see where they're going in a second. In fact, the chicken is deep down into the red, but gets both monkeys. The Mega may have to be diverted to deal with that. Meanwhile, those strats saunter up this way, but there's bouncers and flak here, and SAMs, and I don't think those strats are going to get a great deal done. They're going for the HQ. They drop a bomb. They get the HQ. So the land HQ for GingerbreadMan is dead. But he's got other Cybran work over here. So he's still got other Cybran land HQ up here that he inherited from MSG. So while that was a nice attempt from Matry, they obviously didn't know. Actually, did they? Nope, they absolutely know about that, so Matry will have to snipe that as well, and may have known about it, or may not, I cannot say. The Mega have been mobbed to death by bricks surrounding it, and we have a monkey from Stux coming up here. This monkey might be able to deal with these bricks, but it won't also be able to deal with this monkey. Gingerbread needs to move these boys down to support. That chicken... Where did that chicken go? Guys, I've lost the chicken. There's a monkey here now. Perhaps he oh, there's the chicken. Just chilling. In the north, this area is now almost completely devastated. Neither side owns it. Shield disrupted in there from Gingerbread, supporting the monkey. Not much shielding for them to take out here, though. But this raid, this monkey has come down here and has taken out a lot of stuxnet stuff. That's pretty nice. There are strats from Matry, but they're quickly counted by the ASFs. And when we look, when we look at the eco, we see that Matry's been ecoing like a madman. So has Stuxnet. So they now have a lead of 400 maths per tick, the southern team, over Gingerbread. And Gingerbread's advantage looks like it's fading away. But this monkey might be able to get stuff done, as might this monkey. This has been so much destruction here that the southern team simply haven't had a chance to rebuild, and there are now bricks hiving off and finding some kills. These two bricks could get an awful amount done there, because that's 6 T3 mexes. 6 T3 mexes and nothing to defend them at the moment. Where have Matry's strats gone? But Matry's got a nuke, which he's built. And I don't see any nuke defense in Gingerbread's base, so if that gets fired off, Stux's monkey meets Gingerbread's and dies, because Gingerbread's has more veterancy, and it gets the 5th level of veterancy right there. While we look, it's probably going to die now, but well, it's certainly going to die now. A fresh monkey from Stux has come in. But these monkeys just everywhere, bricks everywhere from... Ah, what a pity for Gingerbread, who didn't get any of these with those bricks. They were sniped out, presumably by Straps. I didn't actually see what got them. This monkey is mobbed to death by bricks, and now there aren't quite enough here for Gingerbread to finish his killing blow. A couple of expies just dotted around defending for the southern team there. But there's a significant force, that Mega in particular I'm looking at, that Gingerbread is massing. I think he's got enough here to take this if he pushes south with it, but that might leave him open to an attack from the side. That said, there isn't that much here, but does he know about it? What does Gingerbread see? He doesn't know entirely what it is, but he does know that a monkey is trying to sneak in there. I don't know whether Zoom thought that the monkey's stealth might protect them, but there's definitely some Omni covering it right there. Gingerbread trying to make use of his air advantage, sends in some gunships against these bricks, but there's a SAM here, and those gunships aren't going to get much done. How's that nuke doing? The GC out from Matry heading this way. A monkey and two chickens from Stux clearing up this lot, but they're going to be a bit slower than this. I think this force might be able to come in and get something done. No, Stux is going to turn those round and catch it. And we have a beater on the field. 3 monkeys, a crab, and a beater. the beetle chases down that monkey from Zoom, and that monkey is going to have nothing it can really do. Matry hasn't been focusing that much on ASFs, and I think Gingerbread still has air. I would check that, but I'm far more interested in seeing what happens with all of these shenanigans flying around here. That monkey is definitely going down. There it goes. Will the chicken follow suit? Uh-oh, Gingerbread ASF randomly might be caught out there. The chicken gets under a shield, and there's the nuke. Gingerbread is not happy. He does not have any SMD, and he's about to lose his air grid, including his HQ, and that could upend things massively. Well, that was expected. So huge if it lands, says Stuxnet. Did Gingerbread actually know about the nuke? He did not. It had been stealthed by Matry, and Gingerbread had never scouted that way. Gingerbread goes for an air engage, knowing that he needs it now, because he won't be able to add any more, and he needs to get the win while he can. 3 chickens in the water here, but chickens don't have torpedoes and monkey lords do. 2 comms in the water here. The nuke lands, taking out a lot of Gingerbread's air grid. Gingerbread is out of the way, and suddenly his eco is down to half that of the southern team. Zoom's on an upgrade. I think he's trying to get nano there. A second Monkey Lord... No, that was Raz. Never mind. A second Monkey Lord comes into the water. The Mega also has excellent torpedoes if he cares to use any of those. Stay in water, says MSG. Oh, yes, he's saying that the torpedoes... An attack ground from the chickens doesn't managed to get the monkey, and you can see why. That water was deep. That nano is looking likely to finish before the reasonably paltry monkey torpedoes take it out. Meanwhile, another monkey and a mega push in here, but there's expies creeping in. There's these expies here which could come up to... No, these 4 chickens are waiting to make sure that the monkeys don't come out of the water. The bricks go into the water too, and they have torpedoes. But Zoom is going to finish his nano. Now, this push has come through the lake. We'll see where the other nuke is going in a second. It's going to take out this entirely because there's nothing to stop it here. That GC won't finish. That's a decent amount of T3 units, but they're only loyalists. That's not enough to take out 3 XVs. And Gingerbread may have to retreat his comm. That other nuke looks like it's heading here. But, problems for Zoom. There are 2 monkeys and a horde of bricks, and if he comes out of the water, then the monkey can just make that 3 monkeys. The monkey can just poke his nose out and shoot him with the monkey laser. Are we going to see a second kill to bricks and monkey torpedoes in 2 weeks of casting? I think we are. Once they say it might look like a mistake, but twice looks like enemy action, and I guess it is enemy action. It's enemy action from those bricks and monkeys, and boom, we have a kill to brick torpedoes in this stupid little tiny pond down here. And GingerbreadMan pushes in further. As we saw, that nuke has just utterly cleaned that up. And seems to me as if Gingerbread has suddenly lost everything. He's got only... what's that, 40% give or take of the eco of the southern team. He's got 3 experimentals smashing his way through the base. This is a caster if ever I've seen one, says Stuxnet. Well, I'm obviously agreeing with him because you're watching this right now. He's got 4 experimentals pushing in here. I think that Gingerbread might be down and out. MSG complains that Gingerbread didn't scout enough, and given that he had air superiority, I think he could have scouted a bit more. I mean, would I have remembered to scout? No, I'm terrible at that. I'm not a very good air player, even compared to not being a very good player in general, but that's hardly the point. The point is that Mr. 1800 Gingerbread here could at least have sent his couple of scouts over to see what MSG was up to, and he would have seen the nuke. Gingerbread says, I had fun. Well, I'm glad to hear it. So did we, I hope. He calls the GG. My loyal viewers, what did you think of that? Do you think that Gingerbread could have won that? I mean, there was a point when he was, despite being 4-1 down in players, he was significantly up on the eco, like at least 50% up on the eco. And he had more experimenters. He had just more stuff. He certainly had air superiority, which is usually the way that somebody in this position falls. But it all came down to that nuke. Do you think if you were in Gingerbread's place you could have won? Tell me in the comments below, and while you're down there, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and obey. I am the Commissar, and I will see you next time.